and welcome to my couch. So right now we are getting into Braxton Family Values. I have no idea what season it is, but let's just jump straight into it, right? So we start off with a tribute, reenactment, a reaction to Tamar's attempted suicide. And this has to be the driest, most fake emotioned expression of a I don't know what that was, honestly. It was weird to even, it would be weird to try and ignore what happened with Tamar, but this just didn't look good. First of all, Tracy didn't look like she gave two fucks. She did not care at all. And the rest of them just didn't seem to show a lot of real emotion. Maybe it's because it's been some time, but it ended up not being a good look from what I saw. Hopefully they just leave it at that and we can just keep it pushing. So after that happens, we go back 7 months. We see Tony shooting a video shoot for her upcoming album. Man, I used to be such a huge Toni Braxton fan, and I still love Toni. I think she's amazing, but I just feel like the music she puts out now isn't as amazing as it used to be. And I don't know if it's because of the change in production, or is it just because she's older now? She's doing different kind of music. I always find that artists who have been out for a while end up turning around and doing things like dance tracks. But I feel like dance tracks are popular because they make a lot of money. People are going to clubs and turning up, and it's like a certain crowd who really love. Like, I feel like gay guys love dance music. They go to the clubs, drink a lot, and play their favorite artists and have a great time. So I feel like it's easier for artists like Toni. Yeah, so anyway, she's doing this shoot, and she keeps having a couple of nip slips, right? And so she keeps telling the photographer, like, it's $10,000 to see this. But to me, you already gave your cooch up to Birdman, so it can't be that expensive. Sorry, Toni. Toni isn't going to the bachelorette party because she has to do a video shoot for her new song, Dance. And Tamar's going because she doesn't want it to look bad with the both of them not being there. So she's going to take her ass on, which she should. I've noticed that old Tamar is back. So whoever the persona was in Tamar Get Your Life, and this Tamar, there's a shift. So it's either when she goes back to Braxton Family Values, she puts on that persona, or there's something about her sisters that brings out this side of her. Maybe it's a mix of the both. So we switch to Tracy and her husband, and they're talking about if she's spoken to anibody. So she hasn't spoken to anybody in the family since Napa Valley, and she's taking the death of their niece, Lauren, very hard, because she was like a second mother to her. She says she feels like her sisters think they can say anything to her and she should just get over it. And she doesn't like feeling like she is a sister cousin. Ooh. And she's the only one of them that's been married for 27 years to the same person. And the rest of them have been, she said some people have been married 3, 4, and 5 times. And now they're bringing their boyfriends around to try and mediate. And I was like, the shade. Like, the only one who's actually been married 3 times so far is Trina. Tamar's close too. But I'm like, I feel like Trina's the one that she doesn't have problems with. Why is she always, I feel like she's always shading Trina. Poor Tree. So anyway, the husband asked her if the situation is fixable. And she says, not unless they want to fix it, and she feels like they don't. However, in Napa Valley, they actually tried. But Tracy has this really poor way of communicating her feelings. It's like she can't move past the rage to actually say what she feels. And I'm like, if that's the case, then maybe you need to just write emails or write a letter or send a text. Find a different way to be able to get all your thoughts out, process them, and give them to your sisters. If you can't do it in person, if that's too hard for you, find another way, Tracy. Can't keep doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. So the bachelorette party is happening at Tamika's house, who is a member of Escape. Now, she is the dark-skinned Tamika, not the light-skinned Tamika, who is married to T.I., who happens to be a best friend of Tamar. So who knew that all these girls were so tight like that? But, you know, it's Atlanta, so it's not that big of a surprise. So the theme seems to be dicks. There's dick straws, there's dick things everywhere, and this is Tamar can't stand it. She don't understand. She's above seeing all this nastiness, and she doesn't know why they've gone this direction. I personally think it's because of Trina's oral transaction. So they're, you know, giving her her hurrah and remembering her past wholeness. But yeah, they're just saying, you know, it's like, what did Tamar end up calling it? Whole graduation. Because she says she felt like she can't partake because she is saved again, and she means it this time. But yeah, Tamar's always had her little prudish moments. So she be acting like she's so holy. It's weird. It's weird. But you ain't married David, and you sleeping with him all the time. But yeah, okay. So then Trina's home talking with her mother, and it sounds like to me she's like, yeah, we're about to go. Like she was going with her mother to the bachelorette party, and I was like, it's not a good idea. Thankfully, mother says that it's probably going to be a bit too raunchy for her, and she probably don't want to be seeing stuff like that with her kids. It's just not appropriate. So it was a good thing that she decided not to go. Trina says that she hasn't seen Tracy or Tamar since Napa Valley, and you know, they ruined that whole experience. But I'm also finding that kind of strange because I believe the niece died, their niece Lauren that passed away, that happened after Napa Valley. Yeah, I think it was a couple months after, so, and I'm sure they were all at her funeral, so I would find it very strange that they hadn't seen each other since Napa Valley. Or maybe they're just trying to talk about the situation less to respect their brother. Yeah, so I just thought that was a bit weird. You know, Trina explains to us that she is getting married to Vaughn in St. Louis because his mother is sick. So, you know, she wouldn't want to have the wedding without her mother, so she wants to make sure that Vaughn's mother is included, which is really sweet, to accommodate her husband. But that means now they have a distance wedding, so you can't keep an eye on everything that's going on. So when it comes down to getting to the wedding, it's easier for there to be a lot of problems, which we see in the trailer for things coming up that there is. So this wedding, Miss Wanda is invited because that's the last wedding her dad didn't come because of Miss Wanda was not invited. And the mother's okay with it. She wants to make sure that Trina's comfortable and that she's enjoying her day. And but she tells her mother that her dad wants to sing. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. Like, the whole family can sing. And they tell us that he can't sing not one lick. And her mother's like, please, for the love of God, do not let the man sing. He's going to ruin the whole vibe of the wedding. I feel like it's okay for Trina to be a little bit of a bridezilla. Like, that's not an issue. This is your day. Don't let this man control it because he wasn't able to be there the last time. Because I could just see it being one of those cringeworthy moments where someone can't hold a note and you just like slowly creeping down in your chair like, God, let this be over. But then it would make a good memory, but I would still tell him, no, you got your wife, you got your one wish, let's keep it pushing. So Tamar's lingerie outfit doesn't seem to be very saved, but she got herself together looking real fierce in her bodysuit lingerie piece. It was very sexy. I wonder if it was approved by David. And Tracy comes to the house. Tawanda opens the door, and the tension is clearly there between the two of them. But Tracy's being as fake as possible. She didn't even want to kiss her. She was like, the way she talked about Tawanda was like she was some any raggedy person, it just was very uncomfortable for sisters that grew up together. Trina arrives, and they send her upstairs to change with Tamar. So Tamar's got a whole bunch of outfits for her to try on and wear, so she can get all a little slutty and stuff and have a good time. So they come down, and there's these performances or presentations. It's like, have you guys ever heard of The Box? So in New York and in London, and I'm not sure if they have any other locations, there's this performance house called The Box, and they do things like this. So there was like an orgasmic awareness performance, and from the looks of it, it was very raunchy. So The Box is very raunchy, very out there, but it also has performances. It's like a dope place if New York ever opens again and you can ever go and watch it. But yeah, everyone's like loud talking over the performance or whatnot, and Trina gets upset and feels like it's disrespectful and storms out of the room. Now, it's a bachelorette party. People are drinking. People are going to be loud. Like, that's something that's going to happen. It's a bit weird for you to expect you guys to just be quiet and watch a sex show. Like, come on, Tree. So now we go to Tony's video shoot for her song Dance. And it's a dance track. And she looks really cute. She's in a suit, and they have her doing a dance routine and stuff. And she said she's not dancing, but it looked like she was rocking it out. Like, if she was channeling Janet from Control Days, I felt like she did some justice. It was really cute. Back to the bachelorette party, Tawanda and Quad go and check on Trina. And there was a lot of Atlanta celebrities there and whatnot. It was really cute. So, you know, she talks about how she thinks it's disrespectful that everyone's making noise. And they tell her, you know, this is for you. We're doing this for you. Make sure you're having a good time and whatnot. So she got herself together and came back downstairs. And here comes another performance of a man demolishing a grapefruit with his penis. It was... yeah, I think it was a lot for everyone to watch. But yeah, I think The Bachelorette did its job. It was shocking. There was strippers. There was dancing, alcohol. Everyone seemed to have a really good time. Even though Tamar went back home and shaded the hell out of it. But yeah, that was cool. So now Trina and Vaughn go to meet her dad and Miss Wanda at a restaurant, and her dad looks really slim. They had showed a playback from 3 years previously in Miami, and he looked like in his face visibly smaller. Yeah, but you know, when people get older, they tend to just slim down a bit. And you know, he's really happy to be included in the wedding, and you know, I guess Trina asks him if he really, really wants to sing, and he's like, he'd really like to do it. He wants to sing Unforgettable. And so she says, okay, if you really want to do it, then go ahead. Like, I think she should tell him no. So she tells everyone that she's like they don't have any bridesmaids, and Vaughn is using his sons and his best friend, and she's using her brother Mikey and her two sons, and they want to do something that's different. I really think that she didn't want no drama with her sisters, so she said, fuck them bitches. She can't listen. It was not a good idea to use any of her sisters, because if she uses Tawanda, other people are gonna be upset. If she tries to use all of them, there's going to be fights. So it's best to just not use any of them. Smart girl. So, yeah, so now Tawanda decides to meet with Tracy to check in with her before the wedding. Tracy comes sundering in. She looks great. Tracy looks like she's lost weight. She's wearing this cute outfit, like not doing too much, but just giving a little. Her wig looked good. I was like, okay, Tracy. Only took 9 years, but we got there. Like, we got there. It's dope. And you know, Tracy, Tawanda says, you know, I know, like, we've been mad at each other and whatnot, and you really liked us very much. And she was like, and I still don't like you. Gosh. But she said, this is not the time. And it's very interesting that she said she doesn't talk to Trina, but she doesn't even really talk to Mommy. And I'm like, wow, you don't even talk to your mother? I'm like, what's going on with Evelyn? Like, what's going on, Evelyn? This is not... You make it sound like you want your girls to get along, but they're not even talking to you too. So what's up? So Tawanda wants to know if, even though now it's not the time, would Tracy be willing to talk after the wedding? And she says that she feels like she's smothered by them. And Tawanda's like, well, that's a revelation to her. She's like, I apologize if I made you feel that way. You know, speaking for herself, she can't speak for the rest of her sisters. And but Tracy seems to think in her confessionals that it's not sincere because it's a repeat behavior. But if Tawanda didn't know that that's how she felt in the first place, how could she change a behavior that you've never brought up with her? So anyway, you know, she just keeps telling Tawanda that she's in a space where she's growing. She don't want to be in drama. And she's still grieving, even though she didn't give birth to Lauren. She feels like, you know, that's her daughter and she's feeling womb pain. And I can understand that. They were very, very close. They even looked alike, honestly. She really looked like it was her child. She was her child. And so yeah, that's pretty much the end of this episode. And they showed us previews of things that are happening. I know a lot of people were confused because Tamar said that she wasn't in the season, and it was, you knew you were in the season. It was weird. So yeah, like, let's see. I feel like this episode was kind of like, it was a slow start, but, you know, a foundational start because we haven't seen these girls together in almost 2 years, I think. So, yeah, hopefully next week we turn up the volume a little bit, and I will see you then. Thank you so much for joining me. See you next week. Bye.